Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ Benoit. Thank you so much for tuning in as we uplift, support, celebrate our beloved Blackhawks as they're just tearing through this centennial season of theirs. So if you're new, welcome. If you wouldn't mind, take a second, hit that subscribe button. It'll mean a lot to me. Also be really great to have you along as we're building this wonderful community. You'll see people in the comments they're just awesome. So we got our top 4 topics of the day, so let's dive in, shall we? So, boy, I love starting off shows like this, right? Did you guys see the game last night? Did you see the win against the original 6 rivals, the New York Rangers? Fantastic. And a shutout. I did not predict that. So, I mean, not that we're not capable of it, but it was a really, really nice way to bounce back, right? So let's talk about that. After a few rough games, rough. 13-1 being outscored in the last 2 games. Out in the West, this was exactly the kind of response that, we want to see, right? We shut out the Rangers 3-0. It was a complete team effort, a statement win, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Spencer Knight made 21 saves for his second shutout of the season. Chicago controlled the game from start to finish. So let's break it down like we always do. We got our 3 studs. We got our 3 things to work on. So let's do that. I'm going to pull up the old box score here. And let's talk about it. So stud number 1, Spencer Knight. Of course, right? Rock solid between the pipes. He was calm, poised, and efficient all night. He made 21 saves. Including a couple of traffic mess stops, and kept Chicago in front early when the game was scoreless, right? Like he kept us in the game, basically. He made some amazing shots. Shesterkin also made some awesome shots for the Rangers in the first period. Really, it was kind of like a shootout. Very exciting first period. But from Spencer, this is exactly the kind of goaltending that we want to see when we're trying to right the ship after a couple of really tough losses. They were tough. That was rough. Stud number 2, Connor Bedard, back on the board, showed exactly why he's one of the league's most exciting young stars. He scored his 19th goal of the season, adding an assist, driving play, and being involved in every key sequence. When his motor is running and he's creating, this team tends to play with confidence, and last night was a perfect example of that. Stud number 3, Louis Crevier, right? Stole the show. Just our second shorthand goal of the year. That's not great, but because it shows that we're not really creating a lot of offense when we're on the penalty kill. However, or not able to. However, for a 6'8" guy, I don't know if you saw that score, but that backhanded score, nifty moves. I mean, really, really impressive, and it was fun, right? Just when you thought everything was going to be about Bedard and Knight, Crevier scores this goal. It's a rare and a huge moment in a tight game. Players like that stepping up, especially in big spots, are what makes this team really fun to watch. So things to work on. Convert early chances, right? We started fast. We generated a bunch of quality chances early. Excellent. We're doing including off the sticks off Bedard and Burakovsky. These quality chances were coming, but we couldn't find the back of the net in the first period. Again, Shesterkin is a fantastic goalie, so kudos to him, but we got to find the back of the net, right? Getting those early opportunities to actually go in would take the pressure off the rest of the game even more, right? It's just logic. Things to work on. Number 2, stay disciplined on special teams. The Rangers got multiple power play chances in this one, and while Chicago killed them all, the unit still looked a little unsure at times. So even in a win, tightening up discipline and reducing unnecessary penalties will only help this team's consistency moving forward. And then we got to support Nazar's offensive game. He was noticeable all night with his speed and his puck pressure, and Blashill even praised his process, but he never got that goal opportunity to go in, unfortunately. So he's creating looks and he's getting chances. Now he just needs to start finishing them consistently. That would add another dangerous weapon for the Hawks for this offense. And why this win matters, it wasn't just any win. It was a bounce-back performance after 2 rough road losses. Woo! The Blackhawks showed defensive structure, compete level, and composure, and they got elite-level scoring and actually goaltending to cement it, right? Winning an original 6 matchup like this at home helps build confidence, and shows this group is capable of responding, not just rolling over. Now the Hawks get ready to hit the road again, starting with a Central Division showdown in St. Louis on Friday night, game we should win. And carrying this momentum with you on the road, it's the next big test, right? So let me know what you guys thought. So much fun to watch. It was an excellent game. Really, probably, arguably our best game of the season, right? We had another shutout. Knight had another shutout, but this one really mattered. Quality opponent, and just every phase of the game we did well. So let's take a look at the box score really fast. We had, of course, and final score 3-0, which is great. We had 25 shots to their 21. Again, would always love more shots. Appreciate the fact that we held them to taking less shots. So that's also something to point out. Clearly, we didn't do that against Anaheim. So the fact that we held them all game to 21 shots, great. We had 14 block shots to their 13. They out-hit us 3-1. They had 36 hits. We had 12. But, yeah, they're throwing their bodies around. But if we can score and control the pace, well, who's really winning, right? Face-offs, they kind of killed us. They more than doubled us. 32 face-offs wins to 15. That's got to get worked on, right? That's got to change. And power play, both of us were 0 for 3. So, yay to the penalty killers, but power play needs to do better. All right. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Would love to hear your take on this game. It really was a lot of fun to watch. Now, let's talk about the mind games part of it, right? Let's talk about why a 3-0 shutout over the Rangers felt so much bigger than just a win. Because after that weekend from hell in LA and Anaheim, back-to-back blowouts, worst stretch of the Blashill era, this didn't really feel like a bounce back, right? There are bounce back games. A bounce back game can be, we won 7-6. At least we won, right? This felt like a line in the sand. This was like, hold up. My head's clear. Let's play, right? You could feel it from the opening puck drop at the UC. Chicago comes home. We outshoot New York in the first, and then we get the exact kind of goals you want after a slide. Crevier jumps in, burying that short-hander, right? Nothing propels a team like a short-handed goal. Bedard rips his 19th of the year, adds an assist. Bertuzzi slammed home that beautiful rebound and the insurance marker. And then, of course, Spencer Knight slamming the door on them, right? 21 saves and a shutout. So that's all beautiful. But the most important part wasn't on the score sheet. It's what the guys said after. Matt Grzelcyk literally called it a mindset switch. The team recommitted to playing defense first, letting their skill and speed flow from that. And remember what Blashill said after the game, after that Ducks disaster, right? This is a big boy league. And you get your confidence kicked in sometimes, and you have to find a way to get back at it. And that's exactly what this game was. Not pretty revenge, not a lucky break, a deliberate reset. You could tell their minds were focused. They had this game. They were not going to be denied. And let's talk about the psychology of a win like this. Sports psych folks will tell you, winning and losing aren't just numbers. They're literally mess with your brain chemistry kind of stuff. Big wins and, like this, spike things like dopamine and testosterone. You feel more confident. You feel more aggressive, more willing to make plays. While repeated losses erode that, it builds hesitation. It tightens guys up and makes them doubt themselves, right? And it's not just vibes. There's research on momentum showing that a big positive event, like a decisive win or a shutout, can trigger a shift in cognition, emotion, and behavior that changes how a team performs going forward. You see it in how the players skate, how they talk on the bench, how willing they are to execute the system instead of playing scared. When you're playing not to lose, it makes a big difference when you look at a team that's playing to win, right? For the Hawks, this wasn't, like I said, like some kind of high-scoring junk win where they basically cut corners all over the place and outchanced their problems. This was structured. They kept New York to 21 shots, and only one shot on 3 Ranger power plays, right? They were disciplined. They didn't panic after those historic blowouts. They stuck to the game plan, and it was all shared. Depth guys like Crevier contributing, Bedard is Bedard, of course, and Knight handling his business. And that's exactly the kind of formula that you want this young core to feel in their bones. When we play our way, we can shut down a legit team and control the game. So why this feels like a line in the sand? A lot of teams, after getting hammered like the Hawks did in California, either spiral or try to fake it till they make it, right? Maybe they squeak out an ugly win, but nothing really changes underneath. Psychologists talk about how losing streaks can create a fragile mindset. Guys start playing not to make mistakes instead of playing to win, just like we said, right? So this win was the opposite of fragile. For Knight, a shutout right after the team left Soderblom hanging out to dry in that 7-1 Ducks game sends a clear message. We can protect our goalie when we're dialed in. For Bedard, it reinforces that he doesn't have to solo fix everything. He scores, he drives offense, but the team game around him worked. And for the room, it gives Blashill and staff ammo. See, when we commit, this is the result. That's the standard, right? So here's the big thing. You don't build a season on one night, but you do build a season on emotional turning points like this. Momentum in sports is often about belief. Believing the plan still works, believing the group can respond. So yeah, this doesn't feel like a bounce back or like a little bounce back. It feels like a moment where this young Blackhawks team looked at those back-to-back beatdowns with clear eyes and drew a hard line in the ice and said, that's not us, this is us. And if we carry that identity, structured, competitive, connected, focused, into the rest of the season, we might look back at this 3-0 win over the Rangers as one of those nights where everything mentally flipped. And honestly, it kind of felt like it, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think we have the right mindset moving forward, right? It's very easy to be shaken by a single shutout loss, but to get hammered in 2 games, 13-1, outscored, that can really decimate a team's psyche, right? So this kind of win, though, a 3-0 shutout against a team that's ranked higher than them, gotta love it. Gotta love it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments there. And moving on. So again, we're talking a little bit about psychology. So, we just talked about it. Let's take a look at another part of the psychology of the game and why it matters, right? So last episode, we discussed that Slaggert and Renzel were sent down to Rockford for a little reset, right? Brassois was sent down there as well to get his ice legs under him from being away from the game for so long. So let's just check in, see what they're doing, why this kind of stuff matters, right? And we actually had a great showing last night as well down in the AHL from the Rockford Ice Hogs. And if you're paying attention to Chicago's future, this actually should get you really excited. Rockford beat the Iowa Wild 4-3 in Des Moines, coming from behind and getting contributions for a bunch of players tied directly to the Blackhawks rebuild. And this is the kind of win that shows you that Rockford is also building their own identity, right? Yes, they are the pass-through. They're the launching pad for all these guys to get to the big game, but they still have to have identity. They're still building their confidence, and depth in the system for the Blackhawks is for real. So Iowa struck first, and then Rockford responded with 2 goals in the second period to take control, and then added 2 more in the third to seal it, right? It was a tight game, it was competitive, and Ice Hogs didn't blink down the stretch, showing resiliency that you want to see from your future NHL contributors. So let's talk about the Blackhawk prospects who contributed. Landon Slaggert, first on the board, right? He gets sent down. He's not sitting in the press box eating popcorn because he's a healthy scratch. He got sent down, got some ice time, scores, right? He opened scoring with a nice toe drag finish early in the game. It's a great sign. He's getting chances and stepping up in important moments. After some early struggles to find consistent NHL time, Slaggert looked like a player with confidence and bite last night. Nick Lardis, I'm waiting for this kid to get up to the NHL, right? Tying goal and offensive production all over the place. Lardis continues to show he belongs in the discussion for the next forward up. He tied the game with his 12th goal of the season, reminding everyone why he's been so effective in Rockford and why the Hawks are excited about his scoring upside. Kevin Korchinski, right? Game winner hero. One of the more exciting performances of last night came from Korchinski, who notched a game-winning goal early in the third period. We already are familiar with his skill set, a big mobile defenseman with offensive instincts. He showed that in a clutch moment. Nolan Allen, icing it with an empty net. He sealed a victory with an empty netter late in the game, giving Rockford a 2-goal cushion and some breathing room to close it out. Pushing, persistence, compete, right? Love that from this kid. It's almost like a veteran touch, right? Right at the right time. Sam Rinzel, early Calder Trophy candidate, right? Like everyone's talking about him being in that race. Last several weeks, didn't play up to what we have come to expect from this young guy. We send him down, get a little seasoning. He has 2 assists in his AHL debut, right? It's a big night for him. Picked up 2 assists, and he got sent down, getting more ice time for him, right? Because his ice time in the NHL had been diminishing. He showed what he's capable of. He's contributing at both ends. He's moving the puck and creating offense from the back end. And no longer our favorite ghost payrollee, because Laurent Brossoit was in goal and his first professional win in a while. He was in net. He was rock solid. He stopped 30 shots, earning his first professional win since April of 23. And that's huge for his confidence and for the organization. A veteran presence in Rockford who can mentor young goalies and keep the team competitive night in and night out. So what this says about the Blackhawks farm system, that this wasn't just a fluke. This is a team-wide contributors and contributions from a mix of prospects and NHL-tied players. Slaggert showing finishing touch. Lardis driving offense consistently. Korchinski making big defensive plays and scoring. Rinzel rebounding and playmaking after his NHL reassignment. Brossoit anchoring the net. This is depth you can actually count on, not just name value, but production when it matters. All these guys have played, except for Lardis. All of them have played NHL time, and they're down there just getting marinated to come back up, right? It's going to be awesome. When your AHL affiliate could put up a performance like that, when they have that many great players in the system, especially on the road, right? They're playing against Iowa, not a bad team, and they're on the road. It means that Chicago's pipeline has some real strength across positions. So these are the kind of games that build trust in young players and readiness for the NHL opportunity. When injuries, call-ups, or trades happen, and the Blackhawks, they know that the guys on Rockford can step in and play competitive hockey while contributing offensively and defensively. And that's exactly the kind of organizational depth you want. Guys developing in all areas and stepping up in big moments. So if Rockford keeps this up, and they're not just developing players, they're building winning habits, those winning habits will translate to the NHL. It's exactly the kind of thing that eventually feeds success for the Blackhawks as a whole. So really cool stuff. Really, 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 really cool stuff. So, all right, you guys are always great in the comments. Let's get to them. We only had 2, but that's okay because I didn't have a video yesterday to share with you guys. But we got Shea Stern, 2453, a new contributor. Welcome to the club. Says those last 4 games were shocking. Yeah, they were, right? That whole West Coast swing was, we played better than we thought we were going to against the Knights. And then but we had a shutout loss. We win against LA. Awesome. They got a lot of, they're known for grinding out teams and shutting them down. We win. Awesome. And then we get ground down and shut down on the second game against LA. And then we get just beat up by Anaheim. So yeah, those last 4 games were shocking. But this last game against the Rangers, that's also shocking, but in the most positive of ways. Thank you very much for your contribution, Shay. Really appreciate it. And Joshua Bauman, 3209, repeat offender. We did a part on, he had asked, hey, we got a possible 30-point game swing from last year to this year, right? We're winning, 30 more points. That's huge. How does that stand historically? And we went into all that. And Joshua says, whoa, these are some massive point swings. So this improvement isn't at the top of the league, but so cool if they can make a club record, right? I think the record was 32 points of a swing. We definitely have it in hand to beat that record. Fingers crossed the boys can get past this tough road trip and bring back the winning culture, which they did. Nice prediction there, young man. Hockey is such a competitive and dynamic sport. Thanks for the insight. I appreciate you, PJ. Well, of course. My pleasure. Thank you for your contributions, man. And thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for being a repeat offender. And that was a great segment that you helped me come out with. So appreciate that, sir. And that is a wrap for today, Blackhawks Nation. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support, sharing about the channel to all your family, friends, and neighbors. Get them all in here. The more, the merrier. If you made a comment, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your expertise and your passion about the Hawks with all of us. And if you're a repeat offender in the comment section, absolutely an honor building this community with you. I just love it. I always say this, it makes my everyday. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to you all as we celebrate the very best team in hockey. To us, the very best team in hockey. With the very best fans in all of sports, undeniably. That's all you guys. In the absolute best city this world has to offer. I just had an argument yesterday with someone about why Chicago is the best city in the U.S. and in the world. And that does it for now. I'm PJ, and we will see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.